This lovable creature is Misty, and she's made it her life's goal to break into her automatic feeder. So this is what I've had to do to keep her out. The feeder is screwed to its base, fastened to the wall, and the lid has to be wired shut. It looks ridiculous, but you can actually see her teeth marks in the wire. And so I bought a replacement. After an evening of research, I was ready to order, and a few days later the PETKIT Dual-Hopper feeder arrived. The box was in good condition, so it was time to open it and see exactly what was included. Inside the box, everything was individually wrapped and protected. The package included the Dual-Hopper, the main base and dispensing mechanism, the stainless steel bowl insert, the power adapter, a desiccant pack, and the instructions. These are the main parts. The stainless steel bowl sits inside the removable base, power is supplied through the adapter, and the desiccant pack fits beneath the lid to help keep the food dry. The hopper fits onto the base, and a manual provides clear instructions. The food is stored in two separate compartments within the hopper, with each side able to dispense independently. Assembly was extremely easy. I placed the base onto a solid surface. The hopper then slid down and clicked into place over two quick-release buttons. At the front, the metal feeding bowl drops into position, and that's it. Done. And as a bonus, there were no tools required. Although it's not something we necessarily needed, there is a desiccant pack that fits neatly beneath the lid to help keep the food dry. The power connector slots in underneath the feeder with only the braided cable exiting the back. This keeps the connector safe from any knocks and bashes and also allows the feeder to be positioned flush against a wall. This feeder also takes backup batteries. They don't replace the normal mains supply, but they allow scheduled feeding to continue if the power goes off, so your cats don't go hungry if there's a power cut when you're away on holiday. Removing a single screw gives access to the battery compartment, and it takes 4 D-sized batteries. Unplugging the feeder produced an immediate battery mode announcement, so the backup supply was working.
Battery mode activated. The device will continue dispensing food according to the feeding schedule.
I then fitted the metal bowl into the base and filled the hopper with a small amount of dried food. The reason behind this was because I not only wanted to see if the feeder would dispense, but also see if it would give me a low food warning. With the food in, the lid closed with a reassuring click, telling me it was securely in place. A long press of button 1 provided 2 dispenses of food, followed by the warning I'd been hoping to hear.
Low capacity and food container. Please refill.
Before installing the new feeder, I had to remove the screws, chains, and other layers of security I'd added to the old one. That arrangement had been enough to keep Misty at bay, but it was an eyesore, and it had needed to be replaced for a while. With the old feeder removed, I quickly cleaned the area before putting the new one into its permanent position. Having placed the feeder in position and plugged it in, I pressed the button on hopper 1 to test the dispense once more. And given that the cats were circling like sharks, I should have known that it wouldn't take long for the first of them to interfere. Closely followed by the second. Once the cats had finally moved out of the way, I was able to put the old feeder next to the new one for a stability comparison. Being wider and heavier, it was obvious that the new feeder would be harder for the cats to pull over, but I'll still be watching closely to see how it copes with Misty. Happy that the feeder would dispense and the cats would use it, I was ready to connect it to the Wi-Fi. With a flashing light telling me that connection mode was activated, I opened the manual and scanned the QR code linking to the PETKIT app. After installing it, I created an account and allowed the necessary notification and Bluetooth permissions. After a short while, the app detected the feeder and asked for my Wi-Fi details. It didn't connect immediately. I received 2 binding failed messages and 1 warning that the password had been incorrect. After checking the details and trying again, the feeder connected successfully. I renamed it the cat feeder, created a simple test schedule, and switched on pet tracking. Once it was up and running, the app also immediately detected that the hoppers were nearly empty, which was encouraging because that was exactly how I'd set them up for the test. Having closed and reopened the app, the feeder carried out a firmware update. I shortened that process here, but it completed without any problems and confirmed that the latest version was installed. After the update, the main screen gave me a live camera view and still showed the correct empty hopper warning. Waving my hand in front of the feeder confirmed that the camera was showing the room in real time. For a clearer test, I recorded the app and the physical feeder at the same time. When I pressed dispense in the app, the camera view showed me the food falling, while the second view on my phone confirmed that the feeder really was dispensing on the table. And already used to the sound of her new feeder, naturally, our greedy cat was not far away. Later, with the feeding schedule set up and the feeder back in its final position, my phone notified me that a cat had come to eat. Tapping the alert opened a recorded clip of Misty at the feeder, so I could confirm that everything was working as I had hoped. So, the feeder was assembled, connected and working, and both cats had already approved the setup. The real test now is whether it remains reliable and whether Misty can find a way into it.